Hey, it's Stephanie, ArtLounge310. Pareidolia Sketching. The only way to experience really what it's all about is to sketch, so let's get on it. We're going to do a little tour of Pareidolia Sketching. This is the hardcover. It does come paperback. It does come ebook if you want to commit a lot of colorful ink, but depending on the paper that you want to print it on, you could print it directly onto multimedia, or I'm sorry, mixed media watercolor paper, but that's going to be a lot of ink. This is a special edition, and what all that means is that I'm selling it out of my art studio. I do have a couple of events at wineries, fun outdoor places where I'm also going to be doing a big demo for a group. This is just the hard copy that I'm selling out of the art studio. So you might not necessarily get the emblem that's a special edition. Let's take a tour. We've got a cute little welcome page. What is pareidolia? Just as I described, it's that phenomenon in which you can see images that are not necessarily there. I'm not talking hallucinating. I'm talking in your mind's eye. You might see, let's say, the face in the moon, aka the man in the moon. You might see a bunny in the clouds. What does that all mean? It's a great exercise for your brain. Recently, there's been a lot of great studies done on creativity. It's not just on that right side of the brain. It is both sides of the brain. As humans, we have creativity. It is innate in us. And if you even think that you're not creative, I would challenge you, because I think all folks are creative, whether you are an engineer, what great problem solving and getting to the root, always having a plan A and a plan B, all of that takes creativity. And that's why this is a great tool to give your brain an exercise to either develop creativity, find your creativity. It can be really relaxing and healing for your brain. So how to and tips. Right, so let's go to the first image here. Here's our first image. It is also a PDF on my website. Okay, and like I said, this backdrop is actually a watercolor that I've done on Arches paper. How it starts is I might do some mixing, right? I might be laying out on paper different colors that I want to put into a different project. And as I started doing that, I had my red, my yellows, my blues, and then I start kind of mixing colors. Do I want to add a different yellow, a different red? I noticed that I started getting more distracted by my prep paper. So this is the page that I was prepping on, and I started like, oh my gosh, this image alone might not necessarily be all that inspiring, but as you look at it, and feel free, you can always turn the image around. Different pareidolias are going to pop out at you. Sketch it out. Draw it out. Let's say you can't draw it all. Well, you might see right here a cloaked face. So draw the face that you do see. I'm going to flip back here. This is actually the first image I used as an example. I can't see it now, but when I first looked at this, I had sketched out a bunny, right? So let's go back to the one that has no drawing. See, I don't see the bunny. Like, what was I thinking? I don't know. I see the cloaked man. Flip it back. All right. This guy living his best life, almost like some kind of wave or something implied. I don't know. Let's flip back. Yeah, I can kind of see him. I guess what I'm trying to get across is it's not literally there, right? It's in your mind's eye. And this gives you either an unplug from your day. This gives you a good opportunity to sketch without judgment because, you know, I mean, we're having fun here, right? We're having fun in the image that's on the page. All right, so let's go to our next image here. And I think I lost my Post-it. There we go. So image number 2, right? And let's just recap how these were created. So picture, I have a watercolor sheet that I'm about to do a piece on, and I take a smaller watercolor sheet, and on this I'm mixing all my different colors, making sure I have the right yellows, the right reds, and as I'm mixing those colors and trying them out, I'm getting distracted and more interested in the mixing sheet. So that's how these were developed. And here's what we have. Now, this was one I pulled my kids into. And what's amazing is it's so not threatening to say, hey, what do you see? Do you see it? Do you see it? I'm going to get this one kind of close. Some of these images are implied and some of them are not. Just drawing over something, sketching over something. A violent hippopotamus with big nose and eyes. And again, I love to look at the sketch that comes out of it and then look at the one with nothing, right? Can I get them both on the same page? Right. You know, and this was, again, developed sitting around the table with teenagers. And as they're sketching, they're chatting about their day and laughing and joking. And to me, I mean, teenagers, right? That's tricky. And if Pareidolia Sketching has anything to do with it, as far as them sharing and opening up, I'm all for it. This next example, I thought would kind of try to hit it home a little bit, how this is just an exercise. This is a sketchbook. It is a tool. Throw a paperback of Pareidolia Sketching in the back seat, you know, in the back pocket of the back seat. Let the kids jump into it as you're on a road trip. Throw it on the dining room table and sketch it out, you know, as you come home from work, and see who else sits around you at that table and shares. So here's an example, right? Lovely colors. I mean, some of these images to me are just like, gosh, great blending. I mean, it sounds like I'm bragging, but it's just beautiful. And again, all watercolor. So here's 2 examples. Now, they were done days apart from each other. And here's what's so cool is that I was working on Mont Saint Michel paper art at the time. So no matter what I looked at, and no matter how many days apart, I was clearly seeing Mont Saint Michel in France. My daughter, right, she helped me do one, and then she's like, oh yeah, there's that guy again, and did the other. I'll give you kind of this quick close-up because I think this was my son, and he was sitting this way, right? So he had a completely different perspective and drew this cute little dude. I don't know, little dragon or something. So again, it is fun. It's expressive. If the idea of drawing is intimidating, all art on paper starts with a dot, starts into a dash. There's nothing magical. It's just a lot of practice. But this takes kind of all of the mystique. I do want to share one more with you. And this is the one that I was really pushing all the multimedia. I really wanted to make sure that the paper and the ink stood up to Sharpies, acrylic paint. I have to say I would not recommend watercolor on any of these, as it is not watercolor paper, but really any other media seems to hold up okay. So here is nothing on that. Here is a whole lot. And I should have left that page open so that we could kind of compare. So there's Posca paint pens, there's acrylic paint. There's a lot of kind of cool things going on here. And I think all the kids got into that one with me. So you can kind of see all the different creatures. that came out of it. And a lot of it isn't necessarily animals or things. It's just a pattern or a design. And that's what I mean. You don't need to sketch, or I'm sorry, you don't need to be able to draw, even though I do challenge you. I think you can draw. And let me help you. That's the next video. But really, lines, patterns, just kind of some fun shapes. And once getting it all over the page, when you back it up, it really looks pretty cool. So here's nothing again. I hope that this tour of Pareidolia Sketching has inspired you. At the very least, maybe it's a gift for someone who you know who could use a tool to distract, to relax, to comfort. And if you're interested in learning how to draw and paint, there'll be more videos to come on that. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your patience and support. Again, I am Stephanie from the ArtLounge310. Create, relax, and heal in any way possible. Stay safe out there.